за мной!
Jared has just given us a presentation of Red Orchestra 2 that's currently in development at Tripwire Interactive. Could you tell us a little bit about where you wanted to go from the first game to the second game?
All right, well, with the first Red Orchestra, we were really pleased with how it turned out. It blew past our expectations. It blew past all the expectations of the people who knew about the game. I mean, we went through several potential publishers before the game shipped, and none of them signed on board. One of the jokes we like to tell is we found one of those publishers post-ship and had a good laugh when we told them we made all our money back in development in pre-orders alone. Went on to sell several 100,000 copies of the game and grew a huge fan base. But like any fan base, there were things they liked, there were things they didn't like, and they left a wide swath of feedback for us over the years, and that was one of the first things we hit is we took all that feedback, and when we were designing Red Orchestra 2, we put all that feedback down on the table and said, what can we do realistically, what can't we do? And those were the first things we went after.
So you're adding a few new modes. Could you tell us a little bit about those modes?
All right, well, beyond our territory mode, which is the analog of the game type from the original Red Orchestra, we have countdown mode, which is very much like a traditional one life game type. However, instead of one life per game, we have one life per objective. This allows for much wider maps and a different style of play. And as the players progress through the map, different objectives will open up in sequential order. We think this will be a big hit with the clan style play because it promotes a very tactical style. And what happens is there's a countdown timer on each objective, which really focuses both the attackers and the defenders to go over the objective in play. And as the attackers progress, as soon as the objective is taken, everybody is respawned and progresses through to the next objective. However, as when we demoed it, it was a bit jarring, and I know our fans have said that, oh, we don't like that jarring, respawning everybody, what if you're alive? That is something we will be addressing. We aren't final on that yet, but as the beta goes along, we'll be taking their feedback and on what to do. Something else we feature in that game mode, as I told you earlier, we'll have these critical objectives. As the attackers get through the map, they'll come across around 3/4 of the way through a critical objective, because nobody likes getting to the last objective and then not being able to finish and not giving it their all. So if they fail that last objective or any objective after that critical objective, that once they've taken a critical objective, they get like one do-over, and everybody respawns, they get one more chance to push through.
I guess that's the key when you design a game mode like this, to try and make sure that the game is always exciting for everyone who's involved. Even if you're dead, there's still excitement there.
Yeah, one of the things that we addressed with this mode is with the countdown timer is players who are dead in other games with one game life would often be left out of the game for the next 5 to 10 minutes, head off to make a sandwich, maybe even miss the next round, or just yell at their team, go and die already, I want to play again. With countdown, what we've noticed is the players go, come on dudes, you're almost there, take the next objective, we can move on, we'll take the next one, come on, you're doing good. There's a lot of encouragement involved, so we really like that. The other game mode, which we couldn't demonstrate here today because it wasn't ready, is called Firefight. And Firefight is our take on the classic team deathmatch with a twist. In Firefight, like all Red Orchestra maps, there's a traditional spawn for both sides, but after the initial spawn, that's the end. As the players move throughout the map and die, the game will randomly select players on their team to spawn them near. And how that works out is you'll start to see pockets of resistance and attack and defense around the map, and you'll never quite know how the battlefield is, just like in a real battlefield. So you'll see like a building, and then all of a sudden you notice like all your guys are dying as they go near that building, and you figure, okay, the enemy must be holding out there. So you'll try and get a group of guys together and go assault that position, maybe just clear it out and move on, maybe clear it out and take it over and start doing the same thing back. It's really cool how it works out in play style. We weren't really sure how well that mode would work out, but over the past 2 months of play testing in office, it's turned out really well, and we can't wait to see how beta testers will enjoy that mode.
So I noticed that there were a lot of small gameplay mechanic improvements that you made. Are there any specifics you would like to touch on?
Well, one of the things we always took a hit on in the original Red Orchestra, some of it much deserved, is Red Orchestra had a learning curve, or as some people said, a learning cliff. So we've gone out of our way to not make the game or dumb down the game, we want to present people the same style of game, even better, but at the same time we wanted to make it more accessible. So every time we implement a feature, one of the main things we focus on is how can we make this feature as easy to use as possible. We don't want people having to click 20 buttons to do something. If they can do it with just swinging their mouse around, why shouldn't they be able to just do it when they swing their mouse around? Like now with the light machine guns, as soon as you go prone, your light machine gun is instantly deployed and you're ready to go. As you start swinging your light machine gun around, in this game, you swing around the actual bipod of the machine gun, but when you're prone, you actually turn your body around, and to do that, players would need to undeploy, turn, and redeploy. So one of the things we've done is as you move around, the player will automatically pick up the weapon, wait for you to stop, and then redeploy automatically. Something else we did is when players are deployed with the light machine gun or with our new heavy machine guns, the ability to crouch and bring them out of the combat briefly, but still keep them ready to go as soon as they uncrouch, so they can reload their weapon, change out the barrel. Whereas before in RO1, you'd have to undeploy, go prone, redeploy, do what you wanted to do, undeploy, get back up, and redeploy. Or you stood there in the open and got shot. So this time around, these are the sort of things we think about when we design a new feature.
So, I mean, almost every shooter these days has a lot of persistency and progression for characters, so on and so forth. Could you walk us through a little bit about the philosophy that's gone into that part of Red Orchestra 2?
Okay. That's, as you said, something a lot of games feature, and it's something gamers have really latched onto over the recent years, and we wanted to support it, but we wanted to do it in a realistic fashion. So you aren't going to see things like different weapon damage types or anything like that, or superheroes entering the battle. We're going to feature heroes, which right now we're sort of aiming for maybe one hero per each team, and those heroes will give players around them a morale boost, maybe a little bit of boost from suppression, things like that. But overall, as players rank up, they'll be able to have first selection of some of the harder to use weapons, such as the light machine gun, the marksman, the commander. But we didn't want new players to feel left out either. So if a new player is doing exceptionally well in a round, they'll get a battlefield commendation and have an opportunity to hop in there and try one of those roles as well, without having to just grind up their rank.
Right. So where are you at in development right now, and what's going to happen next to Red Orchestra 2?
All right, we're nearing the end of our art content lock at the moment, and code content lock is going to come a little bit behind that. That's why they could only spare 3 of us here today. Everybody else is busy back at the office grinding on work. We've asked them to provide a couple things, but as soon as you start talking to an artist right now, the immediate answer is no. You're like, well, I haven't even told you what I want yet. No, go away. So everybody's hard at work trying to get the game finished. And due to that and the hard work of the team, we're about to enter our friends and family beta stage. And as that progresses, we're going to start bringing in clanners from the original Red Orchestra and potentially some clans from other games as well. Let them come in, give us feedback, let us know how we're doing. And then as we near release, we're going to have a large closed beta where we're going to hand out many keys, potentially up to around 20,000. And then bring in a whole bunch of people to give us feedback, and let's see how the hardware configurations work that we just don't have at the office.
All right. Sounds exciting. Thank you very much for your time.
It is. Thank you for having us.